So for you, again, we've mentioned you played in the league and you played for 40 plus games for franchises. Let's talk about some of the teams that you played for once upon a time, what they're going to do here in this draft. Let's begin with Dallas, because the Cowboys, off of a 6-win season, incredibly disappointing for obvious reasons. Losing Dak Prescott, that played a crucial role in that. He's back, he's healthy, and now the question is, what are they going to do at number 10, provided they stay at number 10, other than, you would think, rebuild their defense? The most mocked players to Dallas are cornerbacks, whether it's Surtain or Horn. Who do you think's the best fit?
Yeah, I think it'll be one of those two guys is probably the most likely. And I think if he's still there, it'll be Patrick Surtain the second. I also think there's an outside chance that a guy like Micah Parsons. Now, they probably won't do it because they do still have Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch, but they're a different team when they have linebackers playing at a high level. And Vander Esch and Jalen Smith are already pretty beat up in their young careers, but I'm pretty confident they'll go corner. I think at least one of those guys will be there, and the Cowboys will take whichever one still is. If they get the choice of both, they'll probably be more conservative and go Surtain.
You were briefly a Patriot. We could spend the next hour just talking about the Pats and expecting the unexpected when it comes to Bill Belichick. A lot of people are wondering, obviously, what's the move, given this team is in the QB market really for the first time in almost 3 decades, between Brady and Bledsoe before him. So it's, do they trade up and go after a Fields, somebody like that? Do they trade back and attack the quarterback position and, day 2, perhaps with a Mond or a Trask? Or, of course, there is that Garoppolo X factor, who you said before you think is as good as gone right now from San Fran. How's this all play out?
So I think the most likely scenario is probably Jimmy G. Now if I don't think they're going to trade up. If one of the guys fell to them at 15, I think that's a possibility. But I think they're going to be able to get Jimmy G on the cheap because I don't think people want to take on his contract. And so I think the Patriots will be able to get him for not a whole lot in terms of draft choice compensation. I think Belichick wants to win now. I don't think he wants to have the patience to see if Justin Fields or Trey Lance can develop.
Washington football team has pick number 19, of course, added Ryan Fitzpatrick, Harvard's own, in the offseason, a guy you've had on your Ross Tucker football podcasts recently during this offseason as well. So, he certainly is excited about the opportunity he has with Washington, but he's not a long-term solution. So is this a team that could think about trading up and trying to get a quarterback?
Well, they are. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. I think they are a team that would consider that, especially if these guys started to fall into the teens. But to get where the Washington football team is at 19 and move up to try to get one of these guys in the top 10, I don't think they want to expend that level of assets, especially since they do have Fitz this year. So I would say it's possible, but unlikely.
The Buffalo Bills, they don't need a quarterback. They've got that position well covered with Josh Allen. Heck, they added Mitchell Trubisky as their backup as well. So this is not a team at number 30 that is going to be a focal point in the draft. Let's talk about a team then instead that you cover now, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. The Carson Wentz era, that's over. Jalen Hurts at this point in time getting the reins, but maybe not alone. Maybe a little QB competition. Could they make a move?
I don't think so. I really do believe they want to give Jalen Hurts every opportunity to succeed this year. And if he doesn't, they're going to have more than likely, depending on Wentz's playing time in Indy, 3 first-round picks next year, which means they can move up to get a quarterback next year, or maybe trade for Russell Wilson, maybe trade for Deshaun Watson. You never know, other than the fact that if Hurts is not the guy, the Eagles are well positioned to find the guy a year from now.
So what do you suppose makes sense for Philadelphia at number 12 to help move that franchise along?
So I think they're hoping one of the top 2 corners is still there for them, J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain. I'm not sure they are, but if they're not, that means one of the top 3 receivers is, and my guess would be the Eagles would go in that direction at that point, maybe like Heisman Trophy winner Devontae Smith.
You know him from the Ross Tucker Football Podcast. He is Ross Tucker. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Dream Stream, my friend. Let's do it again soon.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Adam. Thank you for having me.